Hello guys! Welcome to our 5th Yoga Asana Awareness practice. Today we're going to work on effortlessness, and this is going to sound weird because yoga is usually, for most people, it's a lot of effort because it costs a lot of strength. And today we're going to practice how we're going to use our strength without putting too much effort in a pose. So let's get started. So you can join me today for a standing start. As always, take a moment to land on your mat, okay? Take a moment to notice your thoughts, your physical sensations, your breath. We always want to start from a place of awareness, conscious movements when we make them. So keep on breathing slow, relax the belly a little bit, but keep the length. So that's always the challenge, isn't it? To stand strong and to relax without collapsing. If you want to open the arms, if you want to open the hands into a full Tadasana, you can do so. Otherwise, just relax them for a moment alongside the body. Try to drop the shoulders, close the eyes or keep the gaze soft. You can wiggle your toes a little bit or just come from back to front a little bit on the feet so you can find that balance, find your center. So we're always going to start from there. And today, effortlessness is about seizing the struggle. So we're not going to fight our way through a pose, we're going to ease into it and find what feels good here. So from your standing pose, probably standing a little bit in front of the mat or in the middle, doesn't really matter. Keep your feet strong forward. And then we're going to make a half forward bend or a half lift. Bend the knees a little bit. Keep the weight evenly over the feet and make the movement slow. Okay, there is no goal here, you're just going to make a slow movement. Keep the hands in line with the back, okay? If you feel that is too much, just keep the hands on the hips. Both is okay. Move a little bit to the front. Try to find a balance. And then you feel probably that you use your muscles, okay? You use your belly muscles, otherwise you're going to collapse towards the floor. Keep the chest, the sternum up, and keep the head in line with the spine. So if you feel a little pain in the shoulders or in the neck, then lift the head. You don't look forward, you kind of pull your chin backwards, like making a double chin. It's very, very charming. And then we're going to move the hands to the sides. Again, if it's too much, keep the hands on the hips. From there, we're going to make a little twist. So we're going to look up, for example, towards the right, and the right arm is coming up, the left arm is coming down. Keep the arms in line, and you probably feel burn. Maybe in the legs, maybe in the hips, maybe in the belly area or in your arms. It's really okay. Keep breathing. If it's a struggle, make it easier. So find that struggle and then seize it. Which means struggle can be in the body. It can be, whoa, this is so too much for me. Make it easier. Keep the hands on the hips. Make a slight twist or come up. This is the same movement, a little bit easier, a little bit less strength. Come back to the middle. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, notice the sensations in the body. Make it easier if you feel it's too much. Don't struggle. And the struggle can be in the body, like I said, but it can also be a struggle in the mind. Okay, so slowly come back to the middle. Struggle can be, oh, I cannot do this is too much. When is she telling me to get out of the pose? That's a struggle too. Slowly come up. Relax the arms, come up with a straight back. Take a deep breath when you're standing and relax. Okay. So the first step is to notice the struggle. I started out with a very, I think for most people, kind of a tough pose. to find that struggle. What is the struggle for you? How does it work in your body? How does it work in your mind? Try to be open to it. You don't have to push it away. You just need to notice it right now. Okay. Come to the front of your mat if you're not there already. And then we're going to step the right foot back. So bring the weight onto the left. Step back into a high lunge and then bring your knee to the floor. So in a low lunge, okay? Find your balance, find your strength. You can keep the feet like this or just lower them onto the ground. Keep the knee slightly above the ankle, hip above the knee. So we're going to stand strong, okay? We're not going to stretch the insides. We're just going to make a strong pose. And then you can bring the arms all the way up. If it's too much for the shoulders, you make them wider, right? Okay. Find your own pose here. What happens in the body? Notice the struggle if there is any. Make the pose easier by lowering the hands or keeping the hands a little bit on the mat. Okay, so you don't have to use too much strength in the legs. Otherwise, keep them up, keep them raised. And when you breathe out, open the elbows to the sides and push the shoulder blades together, open the arms, keep breathing. From here, bring your hands to the mat, lift the knee, we're going to go into downward facing dog, so bring the front foot to the back. Again, breathe. Come to puppy pose if downward dog is a struggle for you. And then we're going to go the other way, so we're going to bring the right foot forward in between the hands. Left knee coming down, hands up if you want to. Make it a strong pose again. And breathe in, pull the shoulder blades together, hands come to the side, elbows slightly shoulder height or a little bit lower. Keep breathing. Strong pose. And when you breathe out, come down. Hands on the floor. We're going to go into downward facing dog. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to bring the weight forward into a high plank. So you're going to drop the hips a little bit. And from there, if you want, you can do it at once. Otherwise, you can make a half plank first. So you bring your knees to the floor first. Otherwise, slowly bring the weight onto the forearms. So we're going to go into a lower plank. Again, if it's too much, shoulders to the floor, no, your knees to the floor. So you make a half plank, right? So if you're in a whole plank, keep the strength in the belly. So you kind of have to surrender to that power, surrender to that strength. Let's see what happens. Is there a struggle or can you just surrender that this might be tough? From here we're going to go into a side plank. If you're on the knees, you just roll over slowly to the left, and then you bring the feet backwards. So then you have a half plank, easy, and you can bring the arm up, the right arm up. If you're in a full plank, you do the same thing. You roll over to the left, stack your feet on top of each other, and open up to the right arm. Keep the hips up. Okay, so don't collapse. Keep them up. We're going to do the other side. Place your toes back on the floor and roll over to the right. Take your time. There's no rush. It's easier to do the pose a little bit slowly so you keep that balance. Invite the breath all the way to the belly. So keep breathing. And we're going to go back to our original plank pose. From there, knees to the floor, and pull yourself, push yourself back to a child's pose. Forehead on the floor if you want. You can make an extended child's pose by opening the knees all the way to the sides of the mat. You can bring your arms alongside your body. Make sure you rest your head. Let go of every bit of tension you might have in your body right now. And still try to observe your thoughts. Keep breathing. So, effortless doesn't mean that you don't put in your strength. It means that you surrender to that strength and that you don't struggle. And if you feel the struggle starts in your mind or in your body or in your breath, if you're holding your breath, for example, then you make the pose easier and you use your strength there. You find that point where you can surrender. From here, slowly come up. Bring your knees together and we're going to roll on over first to the belly so you can lengthen. We're going to do one of those poses again where you're going to use a lot of strength. Try to avoid the struggle or just notice it, okay? This is your first time, you just notice the struggle. Stretch your arms out, pinkies to the floor. Stretch your feet out. And then we're going to lift our arms and our feet. They don't have to be very far off the ground, okay? Maybe a few centimeters is enough. If it's too much, then you choose. You do either your feet or your arms. If you can do both, find your bliss point, as it were. You find that point where you feel the strength, but you can still smile. You can still sing a little song, do a little dance in your head. You can enjoy it, okay? Yoga is about enjoyment, about play, about having fun, and about using strength without the struggle. Keep breathing, and when you breathe out, relax. You can bring your hands under your head if you want. Take a deep breath in, relaxing breath out. And then you let go of all the tension. You let go of all the strength. Still observe your thoughts. Observe your breath, in and out. And once you're ready, you can roll over to the back. So we're just gonna make a little movement here. And we're gonna go into a bridge pose. Okay, so you bring your feet all the way to your hips. You can choose, you can keep your feet a little bit closer together or you can keep them wider, depending on how your bridge pose is. If you're going to go into bridge pose in a little while and your knees fall outwards and it's hard to keep them closer together or straight up, then make your stand wider, okay? So your knees don't collapse outwards or inwards, but they're up towards the ceiling. Bring your hands with the palms on the mat. And then when you breathe in, it sounds a bit weird, but when you breathe in, you pull your navel in. And then you feel your hips tilting. So your whole lower back is pushed onto the floor. And from there, use your belly muscle. When you breathe out, you push your hips up. And try to bring your hips in one line with your knees and your shoulders. So we're making a straight line. You don't have to push them as high up as you can, but make sure there is no difference in this line. Sometimes I'm just searching for the English word for things, but I think you get my point. And here as well, this might be a straining pose. Use your toes, use your shins, your calves. If you feel a lot of strength in your legs or in your hips, then push your arms onto the floor. Use the same strength in your arms. So your whole body is working along. You can bring your shoulder blades a little bit together, so they push onto the floor. You feel it, you hear it in my voice, I think. I'm using my strength. Because I talk, there's maybe a little bit of struggle in my breath. But you can feel for yourself. Is this okay? Do you need to lower them a little bit? Or can you stay here? One more breath, guys. You're doing great. Remember, you're never alone in this. A lot of people doing this. So you can feel that connection, other people doing exactly the same thing as you. Playing with it, maybe sometimes struggling with it. And then when you breathe out, lower onto the floor. Relax the entire back. If you feel comfortable, you can just pull your legs up, otherwise just stay in that position for a little bit. Take a deep breath in and out. And if you want, you can bring the feet up. So make your legs a little bit stronger. If you want, you can bring the hands under the hips so you have a little bit of a wig between, I don't know, is it called a wig in English? At least you kind of push yourself forward a little bit. It can be easier to stand like this. And you pull your toes towards you. So it's like standing on the ceiling. Keep breathing. You use the belly muscles a little bit probably. Not too much. If you use it too much, you bend your knees. The more you bend your knees, the easier the pose will be. Remember, no struggle or notice the struggle. And the next time you can practice to see if you can ease it up a little bit. So you can happily use your strength, happily train your body, your mind and your breath. And realize that struggle only leads to more struggle. Hardness only leads to hardness, so what we want is softness, flexibility, space, easiness, happiness, joy, all the good stuff. Okay, slowly bend your knees, bring your feet onto the floor, and then you can let your legs, one by one, slide away from you. You can open your hands if you want, or you can bring the hands on your belly. If that's comfortable for you, more comfortable, it's fine, it's fine. It's double fine. Just keep breathing. We're going into Shavasana, which is the final relaxation, the corpse pose, the ultimate surrender. Take a few breaths. And when you breathe out, try to let go. See if there is something that you want to let go right now. Might be a physical thing, physical tension, but maybe there is a feeling or a thought that you just want to let go right now. Doesn't mean you forget it or that it's gone. It's the awareness of releasing something. And with every exhalation, you can let it go. With every exhalation, you can feel a little bit more relaxed, both in the body as in the mind. If you want to continue the Shavasana, just pause the video. Otherwise, you're going to roll onto your side, or you can make a little roll out of yourself by pulling your chin towards your chest, your knees towards your nose. Then you'll roll yourself back up. If you want to do it more easy, more slowly, more relaxed for the body, you roll to your side and you slowly push yourself to a sitting position. Take a moment here. And then you can bring your hands together in front of your heart. And yoga is all about that connection, the connection with yourself, the connection with other people, the connection with everything in this universe, everything in this creation. You are part of everything, just as everything is part of you. Namaste. I enjoyed this session immensely, guys, with you. I hope you did too. If you have any questions or comments, please just let me know through the comments below here or through social media. I'll be happy to answer any and all questions you have. We're going to continue next week. As I say, you can always repeat the videos, really good for the body, really good for the mind, to repeat things you've already done. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Have a good day.